Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Tuesday to you and your family. We're taking a look here at Frontier, seeing what's going on. Got a ton of requests for this one, mainly because we took some very significant profits just yesterday, as a matter of fact, for roughly 40% in about 56 minutes. And that was only a 5x leverage trade. Okay, so I'll show you kind of what led into that trade, but also kind of help understand best practice, what's going to happen here next. Good news is that trade is now closed, so we can look for another short or long, depending on the situation, kind of see what's going on. If you want to be part of our community here and take profit with me, essentially sharing all my trades here with you, cryptocash.tech is a site linked down below. Have some pretty healthy profits here recently. Last week, our stellar trade was 163%, once again on 5x leverage in 10 days from Blue Zell. So with this coin, what are we going to do next? Okay, what's it going to do? Well, it does appear to be overextended, but you got to keep in mind we are breaking through this most recent resistance that could reaffirm itself as a support. We want to look quickly at the weekly here and just note some important key levels here. We got a level here roughly about 63 cents. That was a recent resistance level, so we're just going to put that on the chart just so we can kind of pay attention to it. I'm not speculating we're going to see that in the immediate future. That could very well be one of the next destinations here, based on the simple fact that we have a strong amount of candle works there. Okay. Now, take a look here really quick just before we get off of the weekly. First and foremost, when it comes to moving averages, they are going to be far off. If there is a 200, which there isn't, of course, on this weekly, we can see that we're above both levels. That's not what's important. What's important here is to recognize that we have three white soldiers forming. Okay, so we got three green candles effectively showing us that we are in a position right now where we could see a fourth red candle. Okay, so it would imply that next week could very well be a red week. This week could still be a red week if we pull all the way back to that previous resistance/support, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So simply put, just to kind of keep it really easy for you, we're getting closer to the end of this little continuation. Let's talk about the overextension that we're seeing here roughly on the TD sequential. This is what kind of led us to taking a short here recently as well. Because when the price wicked up here a couple of days ago, it seemed like a prime opportunity because we swept all the liquidity here from this range. And then, of course, the price action continued lower to retest these lows here at about 36, 37 cents. So where are we at right now? Well, we're overextended. We hit a 9. We're doing a little bit of a reset. We had 2 or 3 days consolidation. Now we have this next leg up. So in truth, while we are overextended, this could be considered a 1 because we have a few days of consolidation at that level. We take a look at the volume profile. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to note that 40 cents is a pretty strong support level. On smaller time frames, you can see that was a previous Fibonacci retracement level. So 40 cents, I would say, is a good destination if you're going to consider shorting. But take a look at this. It's already jumped up by a small percent since we started recording, almost 2% here. Okay, so you got to keep in mind this coin may not be done running. Okay, so on the daily, we've established that we are fairly bullish. All right, there's no other way around it. We're ascending positively. We can draw out an ascending trend line here as a rough estimate. Again, this is strictly a rough estimate. And just kind of see here that we are in a position right now where we might have a breakout coming up. Okay, take a look, of course, as well at let's see here, we're going to take a look really quick at RSI. And if you can note here, there's a pretty stark reality. We're still above 70 in the RSI. We keep retesting that support level. Keep in mind, eventually it's going to have to break down. But as this money flow index stays high, we're in a situation right now where it should continue. We can take a quick look at stochastic. This is also, we have a second convergence here swinging upwards. So it doesn't look like it's done running just yet. Okay, so in truth, this situation here is looking pretty strong here for this coin. So looking at the 4 hour, just really quick for overextension, we can see the price action is coming up to a 7 here. That puts us at about 28 hours of continuation to the upside. Most runs like this last about 36 hours on average, right? A 9 is kind of the standard. So we see here previous 9s, it went a little bit extra, came back down. Previous 9 to the downside, shot back up, 8 and down, up to a 7. I would say we got a couple more hours of continuation, then the price action will probably pull back down to fulfill its natural continuation pattern, right? This is actually a very healthy pattern, but it is one nonetheless. 2 other things to pay attention to as well. I looked at this earlier. We got a double top pattern forming. Of course, this second top's a little bit higher, but that's normal. We got the neckline here. And of course, we got this previous rising wedge pattern. That's why we took our trade recently and shorted from here all the way down to here, okay? The reason why we took that trade, of course, is because it was exuding extremely overextended behavior on smaller time frames. So we took that nice little swing there. Once again, caught a good drop. That said, though, is it going to drop right now? It may or may not. Truth is, we're at a 7. I'm going to speculate next 8 hours. We might see a little bit more of a push, and then the price continues higher. We do have this liquidity that has officially been swept for a second time, so a pullback would make sense here. And of course, we got some fair value down in the 25 to 34 cent range, but I would not try to short that low. If you're gonna, I mean, obviously leave some money left in the trade, but generally speaking, you want to probably consider coming down to, because we already established that the volume profile here in the recent past is accumulating at a higher price point, right? Right there at 40 cents. So a good target would be 41 or 42 cents. Okay. Or just stick to the Fibonacci level there at 42 even. That'd be a good place to consider. So again, I send out these playout charts consistently. So check out my Twitter, of course. You can kind of see, this is on Telegram and Discord as well. But generally speaking, I send out playout charts for coins that I review, so you can kind of expect what's going to happen next, or just kind of give you my opinion on what it is. It's not financial advice. It is just strictly my perspective as a trader after having been in the industry for over 20 years. Okay, so again, there's a lot to it, but it's still one of those things that's fairly enjoyable, and this is a prime situation here where, you know, we could very well see another situation like this here. You see these previous 3 white soldiers. We could be in the beginning of that, right? We've got 2 white soldiers. We need another third one to push right up there to squeeze out all that liquidity. There's a lot of shorts hedged right at this level, and there's a good chance there's a lot of shorts getting squeezed out right now, okay? Because again, they're using too much leverage, right? So please be careful with your leverage amounts. I know you see all these crazy traders out there, 50 to 100x leverage. They're only sharing their good trades, and it probably took them a lot of attempts to get that right. Okay, so please understand, liquidation levels are so tight with higher leverage, it's not worth it. Maybe if you're only using a couple of dollars, right, it's a different story. But if you're using a large portfolio size, a large leverage, you're doing it wrong. That is not the way it works. We use low leverage, low position sizes, and we survive the market. Okay, we'll thrive when the bull market continues and the bear market subsides. But for right now, we got to take the wins when we got them, right? So, anyways, what this is telling us here is that we are overextended. Yes, getting close to it, but we've swept the liquidity there, and it's a very good sign. Double check a couple things here as well. We're also up over 70 on the RSI. It's less common for the RSI to go too high. If we look at the previous time frame when it did that, it pushed really hard, really fast, and pulled back a significant margin. So we saw about a 33% pullback the last time the price action went up over 70 as hard as it did. We're currently up over 70, but we're already overextended leading into it, right? So again, there's a lot of reasons why a pullback would make a tremendous amount more sense here on Frontier. So taking a look at the 1 hour, let's quickly note here that we are 5 hours into this continuation. So once more, kind of reaffirming that one more 4-hour candlestick worth of bullish momentum. Okay, so keep in mind, we could very well see somewhere along the lines of another 20% increase, right? We saw that previous weekly close at about 62 cents. That was a long time ago. Keep that in mind, but that's still somewhat of a resistance. So now that we've broken this tentative resistance, we may actually see a continuation and a run upwards from here. So Frontier does look like it wants to continue. We're only 5 hours into this here. No previous overextension here in the recent past. RSI is overextended once more. It's a common characteristic there. And once again, that liquidity has been swept there. And if we take a look at the cloud, we can confirm that we've broken bullish. There's no reason to try to short into this in the immediate future. Again, me personally, if I were to short this, low leverage, low position size, you're probably hearing a common theme here, right? Safer traders use lower leverage. 10 to 20x, I would say, would be the max. That's, again, you still got to find a really good entry the higher leverage you take. So to me, I'd much rather set it and forget it at a 5x leverage trade and hit my target, like 163% from Blue Zell, for example, in 10 days. I'm okay with that. I can handle that because it's money in the bank, right? So again, be very careful here. This definitely looks like it wants to continue now that we've broken through this resistance level. Just note that in most cases, previous resistance turn into support levels. While we don't have a lot of volume here yet, if we continue to accumulate volume at 50 cents and you have a short open, you may want to consider closing it because they'll probably leg up again. But for right now, I would say a small short wouldn't be terrible. And again, target would be between 40 to 42 cents, probably a little higher because the most recent high here is a common place for the bounce. So if the price were to pull back, it'll bounce off this. So I'd say 46 cents would be more of a realistic target. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at there. I hope I'm making sense here. Thanks again so much for watching. Help us grow our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord community. Greatly appreciate that. And everyone who's been able to follow me for years now. It's so cool to be able to get that feedback. Let me know how long you've been watching the channel for. Comments below, and jump on over to our Discord. This is a free group here. We all have a lot of fun, and it's a good time, right? So thanks again to everyone who's part of this. It's just really, really cool to be part of this experience with you. All right, best of luck out there. Be careful. All right, careful shorting this coin right now. Look forward to working with you. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.